preseason game, whether you're playing in the Super Bowl, NFC Championship game, if you treat it the same, it's just ball, man. It's 60 minutes, potentially plus, of flying around with your brothers and having a great time and playing the greatest game in the world. The standard is always the standard. The media doesn't determine the standard. The opponents don't determine our standard. The standard is the standard, and we compete every day.
Week number 14 of this National Football League season. Time for another edition of Cowboys Huddle here inside the Globe Life Studios at the beautiful Star in Frisco. Bill Jones along with Cowboys head coach Brian Schottenheimer. Of course, the Cowboys kick off this weekend's NFL games on Thursday night with a second straight Thursday night game at Detroit. Coach, did not go as you wanted it to go, but what's your take here on after having a chance to review what happened on Thursday night?
Yeah, Bill, it certainly didn't, and we played hard for the most part. I'm really proud of these guys, what they've done. 4 games in 17 days is not easy, but at the end of the day, this game came down to a couple things. Number one, we didn't protect the football very well. We didn't get any takeaways. I thought that they kind of won the line of scrimmage, which is really, really big on both sides. It kind of affected Dak, and we couldn't get much pressure on Jared. And then the red zone. We had to kick too many field goals, and they were 4 for 5 in the red zone. So I really think when you go back and you look at the film, those 3 areas really tilted it into their favor, and that's why they came away with a dub. And
you mentioned it, 4 games in a span of 17 days with a 3-1 record during this time. As you go into this mini bye weekend now, what's your perspective on where this team is right now?
Yeah, disappointed. I mean, again, you always take the last game, and that's the most fresh game that we're talking about. But like I said, I'm proud of the guys' effort. We've put ourselves in this position. We certainly have no room for error now. We don't have anything that we can control other than winning games. And so we'll get a chance to do a little bit of self-scout. When you have that many games in such a short period of time, you kind of lose sight of, hey, these are the things we're doing well, or hey, we need to move this around or make some changes and adjustments as a staff. And so we'll get a chance to do that, which I think is going to be important for us, getting ready for really a 4-game stretch.
Specifically, as it relates to Thursday night's game, you lose C.D. Lamb for the rest of the game early in the third quarter, down 27-9. The way this team battled back says a lot about them, doesn't it?
Yeah, again, these guys believe in one another. They believe in what we're trying to do, and I think I'm very pleased with that. But again, the execution was not to the level that it was in those last 3 games that we won against Philly, Kansas City, and Vegas. And this game and this league is about execution.
Talking about your offense a little bit, Dak passes for 376 yards in this game. He's over 3,600 yards on the season. Number 1 offense in the league in terms of total yards. You have to be pleased where things are, and yet at the same time, there's room for improvement, right?
Yeah, without a doubt. Again, we always want to lead the league in wins, not being the best offense statistically or anything like that. But, Dak, what a warrior. You can't say enough about him. I know we're going to talk about this young man a little bit later, but Ryan Flournoy, he just is so cool to see what he's been doing. And we've got weapons. And, again, the way these guys adjusted, they surprised us with some things in the first half. I'll share that. And we made some really good adjustments. The players grabbed it right away, and I thought we kept giving ourselves a chance, but we just didn't. Ultimately, we made it a 1-score game. We couldn't get the ball back and things like that, and that's why it's team football.
All right, we're just getting started on this edition of Cowboys Huddle. Much more with the head coach when we come back to the Star in Frisco in just a moment.
You can't win a game losing, not in the NFL and not against a team like that, being -3 in the turnover battle. Simple as that, whether it be the interceptions, the fumbles. We've got to stop that. I know I've had an interception with the last 3 games or so, and then obviously 2 tonight, who cares whose fault it is, right? The ball leaves my hands. I trust where it's going, and we've got to make plays, and we've just got to stop turning the ball over. And there's no way that if we continue to do that, turn the ball over, an interception a game, we're just not going to give ourselves a chance. Yeah, I respect Detroit. I respect Dan, the way that his guys, this team plays. It's a great battle, honestly. It always is, but absolutely. Absolutely. And there's no knock to them, there's no knock to anybody, but majority of the games that we have lost, and particularly, had turnovers and haven't done what we've done on offense, it's been self-inflicted. You got a kicker like that you get across the 50, can put the ball in, and he gave us a chance tonight. Simple as that. He gave us a chance that we're only down a touchdown in the second half or in the fourth quarter and trying to make it a game before they got up to scored lead. yeah, they're self-inflicted, and that's my point. You can't turn over the ball when you've got such a safe haven and a kicker like that. Like, we've got everything that we need, and we're stepping on our own feet.
Cowboys Huddle with Brian Schottenheimer, powered by Reliant, is brought to you by Blockchain.com. Invest like your icons with Blockchain.com. Ford, your North Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas. Bank of America, what would you like the power to do? And by Miller Lite, the only beer of the Cowboys. This segment is brought to you by WinStar World Casino and Resort, proud to be the casino of the Dallas Cowboys. Please game responsibly.
Cowboys Huddle continues. Bill Jones with Brian Schottenheimer here inside the Globe Life Studios at the Star in Frisco. And Coach, when you look back at the Thursday night game against the Lions, you said going in, when you're facing a team that features a Jared Goff, that features a Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, you know what the assignment is. It is a challenge going up against an offense like that, isn't it?
Yeah, and again, they've been doing this for a long time together. Jared, I thought, played extremely well, made some big-time throws. I know there's a few throws where the ball came up before the receiver was even out of it. You feel the speed and explosiveness. I'm sure the fans felt it on TV, but you feel it when you're out there on the sidelines. You're watching those guys run, and we just gave them too much space, Bill. We really did, and I thought we did a good job on third down. Probably didn't force enough third downs, but at the end of the day, we gave them some short fields, both because of field position from special teams and things like that, and they capitalized.
One guy in particular I want to ask you about is DeMarvion Overshown. We are now approaching this week the one-year anniversary of his devastating knee injury, and to see him over the course of the last 17 days, playing 4 games, coming off injured reserve, and performing at the level that he is, says a lot about him and about Britt Brown and the whole process the last year, right?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, he was all over the field last night. I mean, just watching the game coming back on the plane, he really was. The way he flies around, actually, he hit Jameson Williams one time that was like it was incredible. I mean, just the power. It was on their sidelines, but we felt it. And of course, I mean, we keep the training staff busy, and that's part of the league, right? You play in this league, there's going to be guys bumps and bruises, but it's Britt and Jim and those guys doing an incredible job. But our players, their commitment to getting their bodies right is something that's very impressive to me.
Brandon Aubrey, it's just like clockwork with him. I mean, you trot him out there for a 63-yard field goal, as you know, because you're a historian of the game. Tom Dempsey had the NFL record for over 40 years, a 63-yard field goal, and it's just workmanlike from Brandon Aubrey just going, okay, go out there in the middle of the game, just kick a 63-yarder. Now, Dempsey's, I think, won a game back in 1970.
Yeah,
it's just amazing what this guy can do.
Yeah, you really don't want to take it for granted. You don't want to minimize it, but it really is. It looks easy. He makes it look easy. He's so calm and he's so poised, and again, it doesn't take much to make that decision when you're sitting there around midfield. Like if you come up short and it's 4th and too long, obviously we'd look to go for things in 4th and shorter, but it's like, send him out there, and you pretty much count on it. And that's just an incredible blessing to have that type of weapon on your football team.
Now, you don't want him to have to make tackles on the kickoff, though. And that did happen one time, which speaks to what you said earlier, that that's something that needs to be worked on a little bit, right?
But he did put his face in there.
He did.
And it's not what we want, and but he got him on the ground. I don't think he's going to get any style points for that. But again, incredible young man and incredible player.
All right, more Cowboys Huddle in just a moment.
Just thankful for that faith they have in me and that I've built the trust with. But yeah, I've worked pretty hard to do to get where I'm at, and happy to be here. Just wish we would have won the game today.
How would you describe the rejection in the locker room after not being able to get it done tonight?
Yeah, I think you can feel it a lot quieter. Don't know how to put words to it, but feels like we left one on the table there. Feel like, we'll watch the film back, but going 3 turnovers is not a recipe to win the game. So can't blame anyone but ourselves. Just gotta watch the film and correct it for next week.
This segment was brought to you by WinStar World Casino and Resort, proud to be the casino of the Dallas Cowboys. Please game responsibly.
Welcome back to Cowboys Huddle here inside the Globe Life studios at the Star in Frisco after a Cowboys loss to the Detroit Lions on Thursday night, 44-30. Time to go behind the Star now with Cowboys receivers coach Junior Adams.
My name is Junior Adams. I'm the wide receiver coach here. I come from Fremont, California. I've been coaching 20 plus years. I'm starting to lose count, to be honest with you, but 20 plus years. Growing up as a kid, my dad was always one of my coaches. My baseball coach, my basketball coach, ironically, he never coached me in football. So I've always been around just the game of sports. I was a gym rat kind of growing up as a kid. And then as time progressed and the older I got, getting into college, I was always in the offices. I was always trying to figure out what was going on, what we're doing, and the why behind it. I'll never forget my college coach, Eric Yarber, who's now with the Rams as the receiver coach. I would go sit in his office and he'll watch recruits with me. And I'll watch recruits with him, excuse me. And next thing you know, I'm at Montana State and I was doing the same stuff as a player. And as soon as I got done, a year later, they hired me as the wide receiver coach. And I've been off and running. I think that was in 2004. Who inspires me the most? So I'd say my daughter, Emery, who's now 10 years old. Ever since having her, obviously that she changed things as far as what my inspiration is and my why. Just to be able to set a good example of her as far as how hard I work, so she can see that, how much fun I'm having at doing something I truly love to do. And she's totally into sports. She's a soccer player, and her second favorite sport is football. I think growing up, who inspired me would be my father, who was a coach, who's probably my best friend at the time until he passed away. That's a great question, how to inspire him. I think all of them are different, right? I think the best way I found to inspire others is really to diving into what their why is, and being able to connect with those guys, because all of us are totally different. Meet them where they're at and give them the right and good information and let them know that I really care about who they are as people. I hope they achieve all the goals they set for themselves and as a team. And most importantly, I want them to have fun doing it. I think that's the most important thing, is have fun doing it. And as a group, to be the most connected group that in this league.
I was a little far, but when I seen him slow to get up, it was definitely devastating. You know, just because like you said, I want to see him on the field with me. But I didn't know the full length of the injury or anything yet, so it was kind of more of like a disappearance. And then, like I said, us as an offense, everything still pictured all right. Flo stepped in, C's role, he still had a great game. I just feel like a lot of stuff as far as the full game didn't go our way.
George, you've been so successful this season. Do you put any extra pressure on yourself sometimes in games like this to maybe step up and to kind of have big games?
Definitely, yeah, definitely. Just in terms of want to make more plays, you know, with C out, it's just certain circumstances that you got to understand. So with C out, I know that I'm going to have to make more plays, which is what I want to do. And like I said, they doubled me, and then Flo had 115. So, like, the game plan still kind of went how it went. Like I said, just overall game, it just didn't go our way.
Obviously, y'all needed this one for the big picture. What was the message in the locker room here afterwards?
Just keep going. You know, we kind of honed in on brotherhood. So just pick your brother up and just keep going. Hard stretch, like I said, back-to-back home games, and then one here on their turf.
A big honor for a Cowboys defensive lineman when the Cowboys Huddle continues in a moment, and the coach rejoins us.
This segment is brought to you by blockchain.com. Invest like your icons with blockchain.com.
What's up? What's going on? What's up, brother?
How you doing, bro?
Hey, good to see you, man. Hey, obviously I never got to play with you, but we got to meet last year at the Walter Payton Man of the Year Foundation as the past representative of the Cowboys. It's an honor to congratulate you, and you're this year's winner of Walter Payton Man of the Year. So, unbelievable, man.
A neat scene this week at the Star in Frisco as Solomon Thomas is the Cowboys nominee for the Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year. Can't think of a more deserving guy than Solomon, and Coach Schottenheimer, his mom and dad, Chris and Martha, were here, as is Zach made the presentation to him. You can't say enough good things about Solomon. Of course, he's from right here in the Metroplex at Coppell High School, his defensive line foundation as well. He's a type guy that you want on your football team or in your business, whatever you do, right?
Yeah, Bill, I tell you what, I was honored to be a part of that. Solomon was so deserving of it. It was great to have Zach back here and to present that to him. I know he's been a nominee a handful of times, so I'm hoping that he finds his way to win the award. He's certainly deserving, and everything he's done after the loss of his sister for the defensive line, and then, of course, the things that we've had to deal with this year with the tragic passing of Marshawn. He's just been a huge source of courage for not just me, but the entire locker room, and special young man.
All right, you mentioned it earlier in the show about what you do this week with some extra days, some self-scouting. What kind of goes into that? Players obviously have the weekend off. You get back and you get settled in again next week as you get ready for the Minnesota Vikings. But what happens in the meantime?
Yeah, we'll treat it as a mini bye. So again, we'll take the next couple of days and we'll basically break up the run game into, okay, how are we doing in the run game on first, second down? Okay, let's go into third down and how we're doing in third and 2 to 3 or 4 to 6. And then, of course, same thing in the red zone. And basically what we're looking for is clues that says, hey, we need to do a better job of this coverage or this run scheme or this protection. Hey, we need to do more of this. And so it gives you a chance coming off of so many games in such a short period of time to make sure you're setting yourself up to not only not allow the defense or the offense that you're playing to kind of anticipate what you're doing, but also that you're featuring the players and the schemes you do well.
All right, one other guy I want to ask you about is Trayvon Diggs, as his window to come back from injured reserve began last week. How's Trayvon looking?
Yeah, he's doing good. You know, again, the ramp-up period is what it's supposed to be for, to come back and start practicing, and it was great to have him back out there, and I know he wants to be out there playing, but at the same time, we got to make sure that when he goes out there, he's ready to play at the elite level that we know he can play at.
All right, we will wrap up Cowboys Huddle in a moment with Schotty's shot on the offensive side of the football when we come back.
This segment was brought to you by blockchain.com. Invest like your icons with blockchain.com.
Really just want to shout out God because, you know, the opportunity came. You know, CD going down, it's just we still got to, you know, we want to win. You know, at the end of the game, we coming out, want to win the Super Bowl. So it's just me wanting to win. It was nothing I did. It was just me going out there playing hard, physical. Not sweet, it's bitter. Like, I did all that to win. None of the stats really impressed me. I really just want to go out there, play with these guys, have fun, and just win. So next week, coming out fast, physical, and just we attacking. So I'm excited for next week.
Final couple of minutes of Cowboys Huddle. Bill Jones with Brian Schottenheimer, and it's time for my favorite segment of the week. It's time for Schotty's shot for this week. It's on the offensive side of the football. Ryan Flanoy, the wide receiver out of Southeast Missouri State. What a night on Thursday night with 9 catches.
Yeah, you know, Flo kind of burst on the scene, Bill, against the Jets a few weeks back. And I'm telling you, this is a young player, man, second year, just all this guy does is work. I mean, if you watch this guy practice every day, you see him finishing and playing physical like this. The way this guy blocks in the running game is incredible. You're seeing him with all these big plays in the passing game with the deep overs. And, again, you can see he's got the size to work the middle of the field. But I'm telling you, this guy is as physical as they come. And that's what you love in a receiver that wants to go put his face on people.
You know, a 6th-round draft pick, and really you don't know until these guys get on the big stage whether they're going to be able to perform on the big stage, and he obviously has.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, huge play here in the game right there, double move. If you watch it, you're going to see it from this next angle. Look at the patience. For a young player, you'll see the double move here on this other angle, but just the patience to push up, sit down, get vertical, and, I mean, just – he's got great deep ball skills, and this is the clip I was talking about. Just watch the patience, look at the separation, and again, dynamic young player we're really, really excited about.
All right, Ryan Flanoy, 39 catches on the season and 3 touchdowns, and looking for more good things from him. Coach, we appreciate it. Enjoy your mini-bye weekend, and we will see you again next week. Cowboys will be back home next week when they host the Minnesota Vikings. That's Cowboys Huddle for this week.
Cowboys Huddle with Brian Schottenheimer. Powered by Reliant was brought to you by Blockchain.com. Invest like your icons with Blockchain.com. Ford, your North Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas. Bank of America, what would you like the power to do? And by Miller Lite, the only beer of the Cowboys.